Today I will be teaching about the topic special equipments used in ICU. This topic is for BSc third year. So in ICU, the ICU equipments includes patient monitoring, the respiratory and cardiac support, pain management, emergency resuscitation devices and other life equipment support. So in ICU, the equipments, they are present in the ICU for monitoring the patient's status, for monitoring the respiratory status and providing the respiratory support like ventilators, cardiac support, pain management, medications, injections, emergency resuscitation devices like crash cart and other life support equipment. So these are the ICU equipment. So they are designed to care for patients who are, what is the purpose of having these ICU equipment? They are to give care to patients who are seriously injured, who have critical or life-threatening illnesses like, kidney failures or brain tumors. Then they have undergone a major surgical procedure, thereby they require 24-hour care and monitoring. So there are types of devices of ICU equipment, and they include patient monitoring devices like cardiac monitor, glucose monitoring, CVP monitoring, then life support and emergency resuscitation devices, the defibrillators, crash cart, oxygen devices, oxygen gas, oxygen cylinders, EDT tubes, etc., and the diagnostic devices. So let us see first with the patient monitoring equipment. So what are they? Like arterial line, bedside monitor, the monitors which is present on the bedside of the patient, blood pressure devices, BP monitor, then sphygmomanometer, then electrocardiograph machine, ECG machine should be there, electroencephalograph, EEG machine should be there, ICP monitor, intracranial pressure monitor should be there, pulse oximeter hona chahiye, and glucometer. So these are some of the patient monitoring equipments where we monitor the patient's status. Then we have the life support and emergency resuscitation devices, like mechanical ventilator, laryngoscope, airways, infusion pump, crash cart, continuous positive airway pressure machine, CPAP machine should be there, defibrillator. So these are some of the life support and emergency resuscitation devices which are present in ICU. Third is the diagnostic equipment. So equipments like mobile X-ray unit, X-ray machine, portable clinical laboratory devices, bronchoscope, colonoscope. Bronchoscope is it is a device which is used to visualize the bronchoscope, the bronchioles, the bronchial tree. Then colonoscopy is to visualize the colon. Endoscope should be there to visualize the GI tract. Then the gastroscope is also there. So these are some of the diagnostic equipments which are present in the ICU. Next, other ICU equipments include, these are disposable ICU equipment, use and throw. They are urinary catheter. Once they are used, they are being thrown, discarded. Urinary drainage collector, or you can call it as Eurobag. Suction catheters, NG tubes, IV line, IV catheters, IV cannulas. Then we have feeding tube, NG tubes, breathing tube like endotracheal tubes. So these are some of the equipments which are used and thrown. So this is a picture. You can see here these are ventilators. This is a CPAP machine. This is a BiPAP system. This is a bedside cardiac monitor which is present on the near the patient. Infusion pump, syringe pump. This is very commonly seen also. This is a blood warmer. This is to bring down the temperature of the temperature of the blood when they are being freezed. And so that we can give blood transfusion to the patient. Then we have the defibrillator. This is used in emergency case. So there is the hemodynamic monitoring. Okay, that is includes the BP monitoring, then central venous pressure monitoring, CVP monitoring, pulmonary artery pressure monitoring, cardiac output, mixed venous oxygen monitoring. So these are some of the hemodynamic monitoring. The non-invasive hemodynamic monitoring includes the non-invasive BP. Okay, like we have in hospital the automatic BP monitor. Then heart rate, pulses. Okay, then mental status will check, monitor, skin temperature by using thermometer, capillary refill, and urine output. So these are some of the non-invasive hemodynamic monitoring. Then come to the bedside monitor. So all of you must have seen these bedside monitor which are present in the ICU. Okay, so a bedside monitor, it is a display of major body functions on a device that looks like a television screen or a computer monitor. The nurse's role are to check properly that each connection should be tight, it should not be loose, and it should give correct reading. Any abnormality in the reading is signaled by an alarm. There is an alarm, okay, on the cardiac monitor, and if there's any alarm, then we should inform the doctor. So this bedside monitor is also called as cardiac monitor. Next is the CV line catheter. Okay, central venous line catheter. A central venous catheter is a special IV line. Okay, you can see here this is being inserted into the subclavian, the artery. Okay, so CV catheter is a special IV line that is inserted into a large vein. Sorry, this is the subclavian vein. Okay. Special veins are used for central venous catheters, including those located in the shoulders. We call it as a subclavian vein. The neck, we call it as a jugular vein, and the groin, we call it as the femoral vein. So these are some of the central sites for CV catheter insertion. So mostly we insert it through the subclavian vein, okay, or the jugular vein, or the femoral vein, which is present in the groin area. So these are some of the sites. We have the internal jugular vein. Okay, this is in the neck portion. Subclavian vein in the shoulders. Axillary vein, basilic vein, cephalic vein, superior vena cava vein. Then left innominate, right innominate, and we have the femoral vein in the groin. Next is the intracranial pressure monitoring. Okay, ICU patients who have sustained head trauma, those who have had any trauma in the head, or brain hemorrhage, or brain surgery, or brain tumors, okay, they in such conditions their brain may swell up. So there will be swelling in the brain, and they require and it is compulsory to monitor the intracranial pressure. Okay, how much pressure is inside the brain. Next, the nurse's role are to optimize the cerebral tissue perfusion. We have to make sure that there is tissue perfusion in the brain. Then you have to prevent infection, maintain patient airway, maintain negative fluid balance, and prevent any infection by performing sterile dressing. So these are some of the ICP, the nurse's role for ICP monitoring. Pulse oximeter. This is a very simple device, right? It is a device that measures and displays the oxygen saturation level, okay, the oxygen arterial saturation level, and the study is called pulse oximetry. Okay, so this device which is placed on the fingers is called the pulse oximeter. It is a device which has to be in contact with the skin to detect the oxygen saturation. The device is usually placed on the patient's finger. We can put it on the patient's finger, or we can put it on the patient's ears, earlobe, on the toes, or on the nose. The pulse oximeter gives off light that determines the oxygen saturation of the blood. So when we put on the pulse oximeter, there will be a light flickering, okay, a red light. So that will try to detect the oxygen saturation of the blood of the patient. Next, we come to the next is the mechanical ventilator, or we call it as a breathing machine. A breathing machine helps the patient to breathe. Patients who are very critical, they are not able to breathe on their own. Okay, they are not putting any respiratory efforts. So what do? We need some backup support. Okay, so that we call it as a mechanical ventilation. This will help the patient to breathe easily. It is designed to help patients who cannot breathe adequately on their own. The breathing machine does not fix any problem of the lung. So this machine, it only acts as a supporting pillar or as a supporting system. Okay, but it does not cure the problems of the lung. Suppose patient is having bronchial constriction. So this mechanical ventilation will not cure the constriction, but it only helps the patient to breathe. It is a device that simply pushes air and oxygen into the lungs and withdraw the carbon dioxide from the lungs. The lungs must function in order for the ventilation to be effective. So the patient's lungs should be effective, okay, or else the lungs should function, or else the machine will not work. So this is about mechanical ventilation. Next we have the infusion pump. Okay, the IV infusion pump is a machine that carefully controls the rate of fluid, how much ml of fluid we have to give to the patient, at what rate, in how many seconds and how many minutes, that this machine will control. Okay, so it is helping the nurses to control the rate of IV fluids to be given to the patient, or injections, not only IV fluids but injections also. So in nurses' role are, we should use aseptic techniques and universal precaution. IV infusion should be set. So before putting the IV set into the infusion pump, we have to prepare the IV infusion. Set the flow rate as prescribed, calculating the amount of fluid. So if the doctor is saying you have to provide 800 ml of RL in 8 hours, so we have to calculate the amount of fluid. Observe for any signs of infiltration or any other complications such as thrombophlebitis. We have to check if there's any disconnecting of the cannula from the vein, or if the cannula has come out from the vein, or if there's any swelling on the hands of the cannula, or if there's any redness. We have to check for that. Fluid or electrolyte overload and embolism before administration should be checked. Next we have the crash cart. So crash cart I've already explained. Okay, so the resuscitation cart, or a crash cart, it contains all the equipments which are necessary for providing emergency care to the patient in a emergency situation. Okay, so nurse's role is to keep the resuscitation cart or crash cart ready at all time. It should be ready. Okay, there should be medication, the oxygen gas, the oxygen cylinder should be filled, defibrillator should be charged. All those should be checked. Check the devices, ensure that the devices are kept in charging. Check for emergency medication for their expiry date. So this is very important. Expiry date should be checked of the injection. Next is the defibrillator. It is a device that is designed to pass electrical current through the patient's heart. Okay, the passing of electric current through the heart is called defibrillation. Okay, so this is a machine, defibrillator. When we put on the patient, it passes the electrical current which will go to the patient's heart. Defibrillation is done through pads. We will place pads first, okay, a pad on the patient's chest, and on top of the pads you can see here. These are called pads. Okay, after placing the pads on the patient, then we will start with the defibrillation. Purpose is to restore a patient's heart rhythm to normal. Patients who are having abnormal rhythm of the heart, or call it as dysrhythmias, then we can give defibrillation to restore the rhythm to normal. Okay, and abnormal heart rhythms may be treated with medications, while other rhythms need to be treated with defibrillation. Okay, so that we have come to the end. So these are all the equipments, very, very special equipments and necessary equipments which should be present in the ICU. Okay, so there are patient monitoring equipments, there is a life support equipment, and the diagnostic equipment. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Thank you, class.